Parshas Ki Teitzei, we encounter the parsha in the Chumash that has the most mitzvos in any one given parsha. There is a little debate amongst the Monei HaMitzvos exactly how many are there. Are there 74, maybe 76, maybe a different number, but there are for sure over 70 mitzvos that are listed in Parshas Ki Teitzei. And the truth is, proportionally, according to the count of 613 mitzvos, 74 in one parsha is quite a bit. And the context, understanding why that's so, is something that's very, very important. As we know, we're right now nearing the end of the Sefer Devarim. And at Sefer Devarim, Moshe Rabbeinu is preparing the Jewish people to enter into Eretz Yisrael. And the truth is, if we look at the sequencing of the parshios, the upcoming parshios from Kisavo and on are essentially really done with the mitzvos in Israel. We don't find that many more mitzvos that are up and coming. We speak about the bris, the covenant that Hashem made with the Jewish people. We speak about ideas in general of and make sure we're behaving in Eretz Yisrael, what would happen if not. But the end, for the most part, the grand finale of giving over and conveying what exactly the mitzvos of the Torah are, to a large degree actually ends in Parshas Ki Teitzei. And it's not a surprise when we understand the nature of what's taking place when the Jewish people enter into Eretz Yisrael, that we find that there is such an overwhelming number of mitzvos that are given. When we look at the examples, what is spoken about in the Chumash. Now, I'm going to footnote here. It will be a very impressive job to sit down and try to calculate why exactly one mitzvah follows the other, what the thematic sequencing is. In terms of what's presented where in the parsha. To the best of my knowledge, that's not really found, out there in the Mefarshim. That would be a monumental job if someone could come up with such an understanding. But when we do look at the overall theme, we notice something that's very, very clear. The mitzvahs and parashas Ki Teitzei are there to describe to us what an ideal society is meant to be. There are mitzvahs that govern every aspect of a person's life, from A to Z. And when we look at that, of course, we could say that no matter where we are in the world, every single person has to fulfill certain mitzvos. We all have our obligations that we have to do on a daily basis. And even many of the things that are found in Parashas Ki Teitzei, if they're looked at on their own, we can certainly understand what they're all about. But when we look at the entirety of all of those mitzvos that are put together, the message of the Jewish people, when we're entering into Eretz Yisrael, have a responsibility of living life in a totally elevated and sanctified kind of a way. That every area of human existence is governed by mitzvos in the Torah. Helping the poor, making sure we live in a society that's free, that our physical, our buildings are free of danger, we're being safe, we're taking care of people. Dealing with the victims, people who are victimized in various ways are spoken about in the Chumash, having a proper judicial system, making sure that righteousness is going to be carried out in every way, shape, or form. There's a beautiful comment of Ibn Ezra towards the end of the parsha, where the Ibn Ezra writes the following words. Ibn Ezra tells us that Yadua, we all know, Ki Kol Malchus Tzedek Ta'amod. If you have a Malchus Tzedek, if you have a righteous society, Tamu, that's going to last. That'll be able to carry on. A tzedek kibinyan, righteousness is like a building, but ha'ivos, when there's corruption, kiharisas, that's destructive. Corruption destroys. Tzedek, but righteousness, honesty, integrity, that's a binyan. That's how we build a proper society. And of course, we understand that when the Jewish people are on the brink of entering into Eretz Yisrael, that message of malchus tzedek is the most essential thing that we need to know. Again, from A to Z, how we're going to fight our wars, how we live in our homes, how we deal with societal issues, how we deal with people, the underprivileged, the impoverished, the victims, how we dress, how we speak, everything that a person needs to know is found in Parashas Ki Teitzei. I'll share a very, very beautiful thought, which is as follows. We notice when we speak about the central place in Eretz Yisrael, the city of Yerushalayim, itself. Yerushalayim is described over and over again, not just as the place where Hashem chose to put the Beis HaMikdash, his temple, he resides, it's a place of Kedusha. But Yerushalayim is always described specifically as a city, Ha'ir Rabasi Haisa Ka'almana. We read a few weeks ago in Megillas Eicha. Yerushalayim Ircha Berachamim Tashu Ubnei Yerushalayim Ir HaKodesh, the holy city. Yerushalayim Ircha, Yerushalayim, your city, Hashem, you should return to. I heard a number of years ago from Mayor Twersky of Yeshiva University a very, very powerful thought. Rabbi Twersky explained that we mentioned that Yerushalayim is an Ir, is a city. What we're trying to emphasize is exactly that. A city is a place, not just where people live, but a city is a place that has services. A city is a place that takes care of people, where there's an ideal type of society from A to Z, from whoever the governor, mayor of that city is, all the way down to whether it's the sanitation workers or the citizens. But Yerushalayim Ircha represents the idea that there's such a thing in the Jewish world called an Ir HaKodesh. You can have a holy city with everything that a city brings to the table. It's all a place that's Ir HaKodesh, a holy place in a holy society. Our job, as we're taught in Parashas Ki Teitzei, is to build not just a holy city, but that should spill over to the entire Eretz Yisrael, the entire country, the entire Malchus, as the Ibn Ezra describes. And of course, our goal on an ongoing basis is to make sure that we're living in such a way as individuals. We certainly try our best. We certainly hope and pray to be living in the times and see the times where we can actually put that idea of a holy society, a holy people, and a holy land functioning as a holy society, and that should come speedily in our days. Shabbat Shalom to all.